Artist Variety brush pack. So you'll want to have that. You'll also want to have something to sketch with, whether that be a pencil, a piece of chalk, whatever you prefer. I'm going to be using a blow dryer tonight. And also you'll want to have a rectangular canvas. We originally painted Mum's the Word with an 11 by 14, but tonight I will be painting it on an 8 by 10 just to show you guys that this painting is really versatile and you can paint this with any rectangular canvas that you have at home. You just kind of scale it to the size of your canvas. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is put some navy blue onto our palette. And I'm going to take a 3/4 inch flat brush and we're going to base coat our whole canvas with our navy blue. So this is kind of an undercoat. And what it's going to do is it's just going to add a lot of depth into our final painting tonight. It's going to make it look like there's a lot more going on than there actually is. How's it going in the comment section, Steven?
It's going. Our sound actually wasn't working for part of the intro, but we are good now. So Emma basically just filled us in with what you guys hear and you know about every Let's Paint Live, which is that we do this every Thursday on Facebook and on YouTube.
First Thursday of every month.
Yes, thank you. We will have a replay as soon as this live stream has ended, so you can go back and watch and paint along and pause whenever you need to. You can work at your own pace. I think
absolutely.
That's. I think the first thing we heard.
Gist,
yeah, the first thing we heard was like, "I'm putting out blue." So,
oh no. Okay. Well, you're all caught up then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'll fill you in on some of that other cool stuff while we're painting.
Cool.
Okay, so once your canvas is base coated with navy blue, I'm going to take my blow dryer and go ahead and dry it. Whoop. Okay, so our canvas is nice and dry. We're ready to move on to the next step. So we're going to take our sketching tool. And since we had no sound, I'll just quickly go over the supply list again. You think that's a good idea, Steven?
Sure.
Okay. So we're going to be painting with, of course, our Let's Paint Live kit, but the specific colors from that kit are going to be lime green, daffodil yellow, wicker white, navy blue, berry wine, cardinal red, bright pink, thicket, coffee bean, true blue, and then, dun, da, 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 our really exciting new addition to our FolkArt line, our sugar metallic paints, which is going to add a really cool, lustrous, textured effect to our finished piece.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're going to start by sketching a straight line about 1.5 inches from the bottom of our canvas. This is just going to be where our vase sits. We are going to sketch now kind of like a C shape, and then we're going to mirror that on the opposite side so it's symmetrical, kind of going up and down until we're happy with that. Something like this, you guys. And then we're going to connect those two lines here at the bottom. just like that. Okay? So super simple, and that's all we need to worry about sketching out right now. We want to have enough room for our vase and enough room for our flowers. And as you can see, our vase kind of starts about halfway down our canvas. So half of the canvas is going to be our vase and half of the canvas is going to be our flowers. Okay? So I'm going to put my sketching tool away, and the next thing we're going to do is we are going to mix the color of our vase. So go ahead and apply some coffee bean and daffodil yellow to your palette. And now, taking a smaller flat brush, my number 10 flat, I'm going to mix a 50-50 ratio of coffee bean and daffodil yellow. So we're left with like a kind of mustardy, ochre-y color. And we're going to use that color to fill in our vase. Okay, and we're done. Just kidding. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to now apply some thicket and some lime green to our palette. Wait, yep, thicket and lime green, wrong color. Okay, so taking that number 10 flat again. Got some paper towels here. Okay, we're going to start to create the shapes of our leaves. I'll bring our canvas in a little bit more so that you guys can get a good view. I'm going to dip my number 10 brush into my thicket, and I'm going to start where kind of at the base point of where my leaf is, and I'm going to go up and down using the tip of my flat brush to create kind of like a palm leaf almost, but something like this. Okay, so I have one leaf on the top right over here. I have one kind of at the left. I'm starting from the, inner point of my leaf, and I'm just using the edge of my flat brush to make those shapes. One more leaf kind of coming down here. All right, so with our thicket still on our brush, you can see here, our brush is still loaded with that thicket. I'm just going to take just a little bit of that lime green and kind of take the thicket that's on my brush, mix it with just a touch of that lime green, and start at the centers of my flowers and just kind of loosely follow those same strokes that we did initially with just our thicket alone. We're not going quite as far out to the tips of our leaves, and we're just blending those two green colors so that we give a little bit more interest to our leaf shapes. Okay? Like that. All right, so now I'm gonna offload my brush a little bit. I'm gonna dip it into the thicket so it's so that the paint is mainly at the tip of my brush here. We're gonna make this stroke by holding we're gonna make our next stroke by holding our brush perpendicular to our canvas, kind of letting the flat brush act as like a liner brush or a round brush, and we're just gonna make some lines, all forming at the center here, and these are going to be the stems of these little berries that you see. Okay, and they're all joining towards the center here. Like that. All right. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush now. Okay, next to our palette, we're gonna add some bright pink. And we're gonna, you guessed it, take our number 10 flat again. How are we doing in the comments, Steven?
I think we're doing good.
Good.
Number 10 flat is the MVP of this.
It
Let's
really
Paint
is.
Live.
I love my number 10 flat. It gets a lot of use in my little studio area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna take about 2 parts daffodil yellow to 1 part bright pink. And we're gonna mix that until it's really well combined. And you'll see we end up with this really pretty bright kind of orangey color. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that bright pink. It's a little bit too yellow for my liking. Okay, but before we do that, I'm gonna actually go ahead and blow dry my canvas. Okay, so now taking that orange color that we mixed up, we're gonna make this big pinkish flower that you see right here. And it's kind of like we're painting a star. It's a similar technique that we use to paint our leaves. We're kind of treating the brush, we're holding it perpendicular again, and we're sketching out with the edge of our flat brush. And we're making kind of like a star shape. So I'm gonna just make some points. Just going in and out, in and out. And this is definitely the biggest flower in our bouquet, so you can let it take up some space on your canvas. Like that, okay? So now I got quite a bit of paint on my brush from mixing, so I'm gonna offload some of that onto my napkin. And now that that paint is offloaded, I'm gonna take just a little bit of my bright pink and I'm gonna, kind of like we did with the leaves, go in with a lighter hand, less paint on our brush, go in with my bright pink and add some dimension, starting from the centers, moving towards the tips of our petals, just adding some depth of color to our flowers, like that. Okay? So next, we're gonna go ahead and add some cardinal red to our palette. So taking about, I'm gonna say 50-50 yellow and cardinal red, we're gonna mix that together. So we're left with kind of like a burnt orange. And right above our flower that we just painted, a little bit smaller with that burnt orange we just mixed with our yellow and our red, I'm gonna paint one big circle. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back into my cardinal red. That's the thing, when you're painting live like this, sometimes you need to make little adjustments to your painting while you're doing it. So I'm gonna add some more red to that mixture because those two colors that are right next to each other are a little too similar to my liking. So I'm gonna take some more red, go right back over that, and that's much better. Just like that, okay? Now I'm gonna rinse my brush. Okay, now to my palette, I'm going to add some berry wine. And I'm gonna take about 2/3 berry wine to about 1/3 bright pink. And I just love this color. We end up with a really beautiful dark magenta. I would love that color. It's like a lipstick.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Okay, so right here in this section, we're gonna paint another big circle. All right, we're looking good so far, you guys. So while we have this color on our brush, still using that small flat brush, we're gonna paint a half circle in the center of our largest, yellowest flower. Show you what I mean, a little half circle like that. And then, starting from the bottom of our half circle, we're gonna paint strokes going up like this. Okay, like that. Okay, now to our palette, I'm gonna add some wicker white. And while we have this dark magenta color, I'm just gonna add a touch of my wicker white to it. We're just mixing it right there. until we get like a light pink shade. And at the top, I'm going to do another little half dome and some smaller strokes like that. Okay, one more time, we're going to rinse our brush. And now I'm going to go for my number 1 liner, the smaller liner brush. I'm going to take a little scoop of my wicker white and some of that dark magenta color. Mix that until we're left with a nice little pool of that light pink color. And now we're going to paint the details of our mums. So, starting towards the outside, we're painting little kind of like humps all around the diameter, or I'm sorry, the circumference of our flower, like this. And we're just following the direction of the circumference, the outer circumference of our circle. That's leading us. Okay, now we're going to go in a level like this now, butting right up against our outer little, what would you call that?
I don't know the word for it.
Me neither. Now, if you see that there's any space that you want to fill, maybe kind of towards the outer areas, go ahead and fill that with more little notches. Just filling up that space. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and rinse my liner brush. We're going to take that burnt orange color with our wicker white, and if you haven't guessed already, we're going to mix a lighter version of that burnt orange for the little notches that make our mum a mum on our orange mum. So Stephen, while doing research for this paint night tonight, I found out where the origin of mums, the word, came from.
Where does it come from?
So apparently, the word mum is a Middle English word that means silent. So you're mumming the word.
Okay.
Not speaking about it. You're being silent.
So where did we get to flowers with that?
I don't know. I don't look up. I didn't look up where.
We didn't get that far in the research.
No.
Interesting though.
If we have any botanists in the chat.
Yeah.
Loops. That's a good word for this.
Yeah, loops.
Filling in some of that empty space. That could use a little something something. Beautiful. Gonna rinse my brush. Now I'm gonna switch back to my fave, the number 10 flat. Oh, how I've missed you. All right, I'm a little bit
It's
out.
been too long, number 10 flat.
All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more daffodil yellow to my canvas because I'm kind of running out. But I'm gonna take some of that daffodil yellow and I am going to, while my brush is loaded with all of that daffodil yellow, I'm gonna dip it a little bit into that burnt orange until we're left with like a soft orangey color. And we're gonna make these little buds that you see, these little clusters, by just holding our brush perpendicular to our canvas and we're just spinning it around like this. And we're making them look like a cluster, so near each other is best. We're just spinning our brush around. Add some more yellow and some more burnt orange if you need more paint. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush again, and now I'm gonna pick up my number 6 flat. I'm gonna go into that cardinal red, and remember those stems that we painted in the beginning with our thicket? We're gonna add some berries to those. So again, that same little circle technique, adding some berries. You know what, before you add too many berries, I miscalculated. This is going to be a mixture of 2 parts cardinal red and 1 part berry wine. Okay, so mix that up and then go back to your berry business. And you can kind of see that the berries get a bit smaller as we go down the vine. Okay, I'm gonna rinse, nope, I'm not gonna rinse my brush just yet. In the center of all of these little buds, we're just adding a little touch of that dark red color as the center. Rinse my brush again. And now I am going to take the color that we used, that pretty mustard ochre color that we used for our vase, and that's going to be the center of our mums. Just like so. Okay, we're shaping up here, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with my bigger flat brush. And remember the color that we mixed for the details of our orange mum? That light orange? If you don't have much more of that, then go ahead and mix up some more. But we're going to use that color as the kind of foreground of our painting here.
I really like the way that color looks.
I do too. It's like a soft rust. All right, looking good. We just have a couple more steps, you guys. Hang in there. I'm gonna rinse my brush. Steven, guess who I'm about to take out of the basin?
Is it number 10 flat?
How'd you know?
I can't wait.
Okay, rinse him off. Okay, so now we are going to mix some bright pink and some navy. So if you don't have those two colors wet on your palette, go ahead and do that. But we're gonna mix a 50-50 ratio of these two colors. Okay, and if it's looking a little too blue, which I feel like mine might be, go ahead and add some berry wine to that mixture. Kind of warm it up. That's looking a lot better. And you'll see you end up with this really rich purple. A little bit more berry wine. Okay, with this berry wine color, we're gonna go ahead and paint the background. So the reason I love doing this technique, base coating our painting with a contrasting color, is because you can kind of see in our final painting, you can see some of that navy coming through, and it just makes all of the different elements of our painting pop off of the canvas and really makes it look dramatic, which I love. So it's okay if you leave a little bit of your spaces navy. That's gonna, I think, personally add to the finished look of your painting. So we're trying to, of course, avoid all of the hard, covering up all of that beautiful work that we just did. So we're just carefully taking the star of the show, our number 10 flat, and we're just painting around all of those, kind of dab your brush if there's some bigger spots that you can't get into, or switch to a smaller brush, but we're just carefully painting around all of those shapes. Getting into all the little nooks and crannies. It's okay. I mean, it's okay if you cover a little bit. If you cover a little touch of your leaf, nobody will know. But I'm just kind of dabbing in some of those harder to reach spots that I want just a little bit more purple to be there. And now would be a good time to paint the sides of your canvas for all those people dying to know. Ta-da! Okay, if you have a lot of paint on your brush like I do, go ahead and offload some of that. I'm gonna dip into my, let me zoom out just a touch, Stephen.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm gonna dip into my white here. just we're creating a lighter purple. We don't want too much paint on our brush for this next step, okay? And in a very carefully, in a slip slapping technique, going in an X formation, I'm just adding some of that lighter purple color. If it's a little too light, add some more of that dark purple. And we're just creating some, you know, interest, some texture.
Emma, can you explain one more time how you mixed the purple for the background?
Yes. The purple for the background, I mixed a 50-50 ratio of navy blue and bright pink. And then if it's looking a little too cool, which mine was, I went ahead and added slowly some cardinal red until I was able to warm up my color. So slip, slap, slip, slap. Okay, and then it kind of makes your, looks like all the focus is going towards your bouquet. All right, rinse your brush one last time. I'm gonna blow dry it. Okay, lastly to our palette, we're gonna add some of our brand new FolkArt Sugar Metallics, like I was talking about a little bit in the beginning. This is our golden hour color, which is that really classic gold. If you didn't get a chance to tune into the beginning, I talked a little bit about this brand new paint. It has a really vibrant, lustrous, metallic finish to it, but it also has some really cool and
Sorry, 1 second, technical difficulties.
okay, I'm back.
We're good.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, so like I was saying, really vibrant, lustrous, metallic finish, but it also has some really cool, a really cool textured appearance as well. Like you guys can see the dried sugar metallic. It's on our vase here, and we have some little pops of it in our.
Yeah, and you know, obviously we're using sugar metallics on a canvas, but you can also use it on a real life vase.
Yeah,
it goes really well
absolutely.
on 3D objects too. It's really cool paint.
Totally, it's multi-surface. You can use it on ceramic, glass, metal, terracotta, pumpkins for Halloween, all that good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna be using golden hour and fiery copper. So I'm gonna take a number 2 flat brush. I'm gonna take some of my fiery copper and just add some little accents to all of the centers of our flowers. And our berries. I feel like this step, adding the sugar metallic, just really makes the painting come alive. Okay, rinse your brush. The cleanup is super easy with our sugar metallics. You rinse it in, warm water, soap if you need it, just like any other traditional acrylic paint. And then I'm gonna start and end the night with my favorite brush, our number 10 flat.
He really is the star today.
I know, and I'm gonna go with my golden hour, and I'm gonna paint the entire surface of my vase. Just carefully avoiding all of the floral details that we painted on. And with that, voila, we are done. So I want to give a big thank you to all of you who have joined us tonight. It's always a pleasure having you watch or paint along with us. Like I said in the beginning, feel free to go over to Facebook, YouTube, #PlaidCrafts, go to plaidonline.com/Let's Paint to view our entire history of Let's Paint paintings. Like Steven said, we do a Let's Paint the first Thursday of every month, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We love to have you guys here. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to a really exciting new program also under our Let's Paint umbrella. It is called Art Journal. Jesse Jennings is actually the host of that series. It is a really unique series. It comes with its own kit, and Jesse just takes you through a bunch of really fun techniques. No stress. You get to unwind, relax, really express yourself and express your creativity. Jesse brings you through all of the basics that you'll want to know to begin your very own art journal. And of course, with the art journal kit, it's really easy to get started. So
yeah, if you've never heard of art journaling, you take a blank journal and you fill each page with a unique design, using different techniques and stuff, and it's really fun, and like Emma said, very relaxing, and Jessie does a great job of taking you through it, giving you inspiration, ideas.
She has a very calming presence. She just gives you lots of techniques so that you can kind of, take what she teaches you and twist it into whatever you want to create and express yourself with your very own art journal. So I just wanted to give that a quick shout out because it's kind of a new series and we're really excited about it. So make sure you check that out, of course, on all of our #PlaidCrafts, all of our socials, and on plaidonline.com. But I want to give one big last thank you to you guys for tuning in. Had so much fun painting along with you, and I hope you all have a great night. Bye, guys.